What's up?
What's going on, Nicole?
Not much. I mean, another Tuesday morning.
Sorry, I'm adjusting my volume. There we go.
Just another good Tuesday morning. Some updates for everyone that we're going to share.
It's going to be another great show.
I mean, always.
You look tired, Nicole. You all right today?
That's rude. You never tell someone they look tired.
Oh, come on, Nicole.
I'm going to use that against you tomorrow. That's all I have to say.
Need more smiles from me, Nicole.
How about eye rolls? Does that work?
There you go.
Eye rolls work?
That works. All right. Hope everyone's doing okay. Let's see who we've got on. We got Donna. Hey, Donna. Amy. Tammy. Tim. Kay. Hey, everybody.
Morning, everyone. Let me adjust this. Blake didn't update the date, and I don't want people thinking we're back in July when we're live right now.
Nicole doing her magic. I like the park bench on the...
Yeah.
Is that on York?
No, that's actually off of Maine.
Is it really?
Mm-hmm.
Huh. Nice.
Maine and Spring, it's like right to the left-hand side if you're going... Well, it's on the left-hand side if you're going north of town.
Okay. Hey, Linda.
Sweet.
Hey, Lori.
All Morning, right, so everyone.
21 people tuning in. Be sure to share this broadcast if you don't mind for us. That way more people can join us each Tuesday. I know we have our frequent flyers, which is awesome. But if you're new to the show, welcome. And what we'll do today is we'll go over economic development. Last week we went over department projects. So today will be economic development. I went through the slides. It doesn't look like we have a ton. But we will answer questions too if you have questions. All right.
Sweet. I'd say let's just go ahead and get started. So we like to kick off every show. If you're new, you don't know it, but if you aren't new, then you know that we kick off every show with some of our city, actually most of our city resources. So we have our city website, which is weatherfordtx.gov. That is our one-stop shop for everything Weatherford. We do all of our live meetings and things are featured there, all of our agendas, any questions you could have. All of that is there. Information on all of our departments, everything you could want there. Our tourism, which is our city-run tourism website, is experienceweatherford.com. Guys, check it out. If your business or event is happening within the city limits, it's a free resource to market your event, free resource to market your business. You might as well use it. It's there. And we have had more people using it now that events are starting to pick back up. And it's really nice because that links over to our Weatherford Eats app directly that we'll talk about in a little bit. So businesses can update their listing on Experience Weatherford, and it updates the information in Weatherford Eats. So it's kind of up to each business to update their own listing as well on Experience Weatherford and Weatherford Eats. Easy because it's a one-stop shop there for that. Then we have our economic development website, which is Choose Weatherford for businesses wanting to come into town, which we'll go a little bit on a spiel a little bit in a second and a few slides on how to get businesses to come to town. And of course, we have our downtown website, which is heritagesquareweatherford.com to update everyone on that downtown project. And we are on all major social media. So on Facebook, we are at Weatherford, Texas. On Instagram, we are at City of Weatherford. On Twitter, we are City Weatherford. On YouTube, we are Weatherford, and that's kind of like a holding spot for a lot of our videos that we put out on all the social media. And then, of course, guys, make sure you follow us as an agency on Nextdoor. We do push out information on emergency situations, outages, text out projects when we get those notices, and general stuff like that. Anything I left off, Blake?
I think you got it covered, and I agree. I think the tourism website, people were visiting that more. We can look at the data just because things have opened back up and events are taking place. All right, so the My Weatherford app is free for download if you go to Google Play or the App Store, and this is really a great app that I recommend that everyone download, mainly because we have the 311 system infused within the app itself. So if you see a pothole or maybe it's a downed limb in the middle of the trail, one of the trailways, you can take a picture and submit that service request, and we'll be quick to get out and fix that. Typically, we respond within 24 to 48 hours, but typically it's within that 24-hour window. So we do get those requests if you utilize that mobile app, and a lot of people really enjoy that. It also has the GIS system, so you can look up school district boundaries, city limit boundaries, along with electric utility systems and things of that nature. So it's pretty cool. All right. And then I'll let you talk about this, Nicole, since you mentioned it.
Yeah, so our Weatherford Eats app is the Experience Weatherford app, except we turned it into Weatherford Eats during COVID to help people find local places to eat and to really help all of our local restaurants out. It's great. You can filter by location, by type of food, and it's as up to date as the restaurants update their Experience Weatherford listing, which honestly, it takes them like 2 seconds to update their listing, and it comes to us for approval, so that way no one can like make changes to someone else's business. And then it's live on the site within 5 minutes. Thanks to our great app developers that we work with. It's had more downloads lately. Obviously, we had a big boom at the start of COVID, died off, had another big boom, but I think it's still a great resource. Of course, because it is funded through hotel funds, you can also still look up places to stay in the area. So it does still have like our B&Bs and our hotels and motels listed on it, but it's a great resource if you don't know where you're wanting to go, but you know you want Italian, you can filter it by Italian, and it's going to give you all of the places in town and their most recent update in our system as to like any specials or deals and things. And a lot of them link out to their Facebook. So if they haven't updated it super frequently, you can still get a link to their actual Facebook page. But I think it's a really cool resource. I know I use it, and from the stats, we still have a lot of people using it regularly. So if you're a business out there, make sure you're updating your Experience Weatherford listing so that gets updated for all of our users that are actively still using the app.
And I think it's a good resource for maybe a new business or a smaller business that's local and may not have an online presence, such as a website or even social media. It's a great way that you can put your business on the listing for free. One of the things that I've noticed is it's gotten, in my opinion, so popular, Experience Weatherford and the Weatherford Eats mobile app, that entities outside of our city limits have put in requests to be on that. But keep in mind, the purpose of Experience Weatherford and Weatherford Eats is to promote businesses that are located within our city limits. Not to say that a business isn't great outside or just outside, but the cutoff is you have to be located. If you're a business owner or watching this, you have to be located within the city limits to be accepted onto that listing, because it is about promoting Weatherford and supporting local businesses that are located in the city limits of Weatherford. Oh, Nicole, you're up.
So, guys, it's been a while. So, if I'm rusty, I apologize. But it's rumor control.
Sam's
Okay.
Club, not coming.
Not coming. So, we do rumor control because, of course, and by the way, every single rumor control in today's show has been mentioned to me within the last 5 days, if not 4 days. And so I was like, I'm so glad we're doing the show again because I can address these rumors. So, no Sam's at this time. If there is a business you are wanting to see come here, the best thing you can do as a consumer is reach out. Businesses tend to look at places where they know there is a want or a need for them. So if you get you write their corporate or their one location. So if it's like if you're wanting Sam's, write corporate, tell them there's a want and a need. The more times they hear from residents, the more likely they are to actually look at us. And then they'll go look at like Choose Weatherford. They'll reach out to Development Neighborhood Services or our Economic Development Department. Shout out to Brad and Kristen to come to here. So if there's certain businesses you're wanting, take a look at them, reach out to them. That's the best you can do to help us. I mean, we're always reaching out, but honestly, the best way to get them to come is for them to see that there's a want or a need here from our residents themselves. So no Sam's at this time.
And keep in mind that, and Nicole's right, like the best thing to do is to contact a business if you really enjoy buying their products or their food or whatever the case may be. Reach out to them. Remember, and we'll talk about this here in a second, it's a free market. So we actually, with economic development, we help with the process, permitting process for businesses looking to locate in Weatherford. We don't really control whether a business comes or not. We can't make them come. But keep in mind that with this year, COVID, things have kind of slowed down, especially your larger corporate businesses. They're being more selective, and we'll talk about that here in a second as well. Well, I guess we're at that slide, aren't we?
We are.
So economic development, and this is on this slide, I'll kind of talk about our role here in the city of Weatherford. And for our frequent viewers, you've heard this before, but for new viewers, I'll say it again. Our role in local government here in the city of Weatherford is to assist in the process. It's a free market. So just like real estate, you can buy any property that you like as an individual or as a business. Businesses choose to come to Weatherford. We can't make them come to Weatherford. Now, what we can do is provide them with information about land availability, our permitting process, our infrastructure, things that we offer as a city that might attract them. And that's the role that we play. What we do have is our primary trade area from consumers and our secondary trade area. And this is all based off of cell phone usage and data that we're able to collect from third parties that specialize in this. So we do know that we have a primary trade area, which includes 190,000 people that shop here 3 to 5 times per week. And then we have our secondary trade area, which is 360,000 people. And they shop 1 to 2 times a week or a couple of times per month. And that primary trade area looks like this. It goes to the east, right outside Loop 820 in Fort Worth. To the west there, and then all the way to the west Lone Camp. And then the secondary trade area goes to the west out as far past Cisco and a little bit further inside Loop 820 towards Fort Worth. It goes all the way down to Stephenville. And I know it's cut off on the map, but it goes up to Graham, Texas. So those individuals shop, as I stated, 1 to 2 times a week or a couple of times per month. So even though our population is 30 to 35,000, we actually provide services on the commercial or the business side. So people participate in commerce here in Weatherford, which includes around 190,000 people and up to 360,000. Oh, Nicole, you're up again. Oh, wait, you're muted, Nicole. I didn't hear you there.
Rumor control. I muted so that way people wouldn't hear when I was replying to comments.
Oh, okay.
I'm tapping on my keyboard. Yeah.
You're typing. Okay.
No in and out at this time, and that was actually the one that started all.
No, we're on Babes. We're on Babes.
We're on Babes. Oh, yeah. Dang it! I got them out of order. Then it's showing wrong on my side. Okay. No Babes. Okay, so I do want to say, I probably heard about Babes 15 times last week and like 4 times this weekend.
It is tasty food. I love it.
It is tasty food. However, I mean, Have we talked to them? Yeah, we've talked to a lot of businesses. Are they coming here? Not at this time. Would we like to see them come here? Yeah. It's just not right now. It's not in the cards for our city. It's not in the cards for them at the moment. But not right now. But yeah, no, guys. Honestly, last week, every time I heard about it, I was like, next week, that's got to go on the slides. It's got to go on the slides next week.
It made the slides.
Right? And that's the only picture I have of Babes at the moment, so I just keep reusing the same Babes picture.
Yeah, I don't know where that one's located. That's interesting.
I don't know, but you can follow their Facebook page if you want to see their other locations. They're just not coming here at this moment.
All right. So right now, these are the applications for permits and ongoing projects that we're aware of. That are taking place in the city of Weatherford. Texas Roadhouse, located at 201 West I-20. That's next to Harbor Freight to the east right there, located next to the different hotels in the area. Blue Beacon, which is a car wash. They actually have a location in Weatherford right now. They're just moving to a new location.
And that's over off of, I know it says Banks, but if you don't know where Banks is, that's off of Bankhead.
Yep.
It's right across from Love's on Bankhead. Same side of the freeway.
Murphy Oil. So most of you probably noticed this. This is on Fort Worth Highway, right before you turn in to go on Bankhead Highway, kind of at the corner right there. And that's a Murphy. I call it Murphy USA, but the official title is Murphy Oil. The company is, and so they're in final inspections right now. Storehouse Storage at 917 West I-20. Their commercial permit was issued. They're located next to the Honda dealership, right next to Room. Safekeeping Self-Storage, they've had their commercial permit issued. Weatherford College Edition, the site development permit was issued. Pirate Falls Auto Spa, that's on Fort Worth Highway. Tenant improvement is issued. Edgewise 8 Brewery at 221 North Main Street, the tenant improvement is issued. That's right next to Northside Remedy right there, correct, Nicole? Or close?
Well, it's not right next to it. It's on the same building strip on the end, on the corner, yes.
Okay, so it's in that area right there, locally owned brewery, and they are working on improving that location. Finn's Bar and Grill at 810 South Main, the tenant improvement was issued. Recent itinerant vendor food truck permits that were issued: Tailgaters Barbecue, DeCarbo, Flame Grill, T&D Barbecue, Ironworks Coffee as well. We might have went off the air for a second, but we're back.
No, we're good.
Okay. We're good. So Debbie, you asked, where's Texas Roadhouse going? Right past Harbor Freight off of I-20, right in front of the hotels right there. It'd be on the south side of Interstate 20. And one thing while we're talking about itinerant vendors or food truck permits or food trucks, rather, we're getting a lot of food trucks submitting to be a business on Experience Weatherford and the Weatherford Eats mobile app. Just keep in mind, you have to be located or you have to be housed inside the city limits. So if you're a food truck from Fort Worth that comes here, you do not qualify to be on Experience Weatherford or Weatherford Eats. So just keep that in mind.
Randy, I'm going to message them right now. Last we knew that they had gotten to one part of their permitting and they had a bunch of permits approved, and then COVID hit and that kind of has stalled a lot of businesses. So I'll follow up on that and get back with you.
Laura, you asked about Finn's. The address is 810 South Main. And I'm not sure the exact what that's next to. Do you know, Nicole? Finn's Bar and Grill?
You know what? I don't know. I can Google it in a second.
All right. So these are the current projects that we have going on. And as you can see, really, I would say, well, there's 3, Texas Roadhouse, Blue Beacon, and Murphy Oil that might be considered, your corporate companies. But again, with COVID, as you all know, happening in 2020, it slowed some development down. Not to say that there isn't development, but I think a lot of corporate companies are reevaluating their structure and making tough decisions right now on what they want to do as far as growth is concerned. But we are seeing steady growth in Weatherford. It's kind of changed a little bit, but there are still some great projects taking place.
Like, it kind of looks like it's going in where Saltwater used to be. And I might be wrong on the address, but...
Oh, okay. Yeah.
That's what it's pulling up as for me.
That makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So other projects, zoning regulations were updated. If I can talk. The city council adopted new zoning regulations and tree landscape manual on August 25th. Additionally, a new zoning district map was adopted. This is all available on our website as well. Subdivision I cannot talk, Nicole. You might have to just take over today. My goodness. Subdivision regulations were updated. Our staff will be presenting the update to the to council on October 27th. All right, Nicole, I'm gonna let you talk about code compliance, just because you've been responding to a lot of inquiries on Facebook and Instagram and other channels.
Across all of our channels. Okay, so code compliance, guys. Just a quick reminder: we know we're heading into winter, but you still do need to make sure that your weeds and grass are under control. Regular maintenance, even in the off season, aka like when it starts to get colder and we all expect to not have to do as much lawn work, it can make a huge difference. And I know it says as we head into the heart of summer and fall, but it still applies now as we're heading into winter. I know that a lot of people are dealing with the blue steel and some of those weeds that come up, it feels like overnight. So just a quick reminder to keep those in check. Also, garage sale signs. So this has been a huge one over the last few weeks. You are, and I'm not even going to read off of the slides because I'm so used to what I've been saying. Every house, residential address, by our definition and our city ordinance, is allowed 2 yard, garage, driveway, whatever you want to call it, sales a year. And we do have that defined in our code, our city ordinance. So you're allowed to have 2. At the physical location where that garage sale is taking place, you are allowed 2 signs, 2 square feet. So that's 2 by 2. And they cannot, and then you're allowed up to 4 directional signs, which also cannot be larger than 2 square feet. Those have to go on private property. You cannot put them on commercial property. You cannot put them on utility poles, on stop signs, on light poles, which is where we've had a lot of them collected off of utility, light, and commercial property. If you are a commercial property or a nonprofit property and you are wanting to have a sale, you do have to have a permit. Residential sales do not need permits. And then you have to make sure that those directional signs are not prohibiting drive, so they cannot, like, there is a certain distance from the road that those need to be, and they will be picked up by code compliance if they are not in compliance. And you can post those yard sale signs 24 hours before the sale, and they have to be picked up 24 hours after your sale ends. Your sale can run for 3 days, and all of this can be found in Chapter 5, Section 12 of our city code and ordinance, which you can find on My Weatherford or our weatherfordtx.gov. If you search city ordinance, and then when it pulls up, when you go to the ordinance page, you can search garage sales, or you can go straight to Chapter 5, Section 12, and it is right there. We're super black and white with what you can and can't do. And I know a lot of people have said, oh, but it wasn't enforced before. We didn't have the manpower before. We have the manpower now to enforce those. And unfortunately, a part of that is the fact that so many sale signs were being left out all the time. So we're just having, a few ruin it for the many, but it's also, we're trying to help everyone take pride in our community. Like, we take pride in everything that Weatherford does and all of the accomplishments of our residents. And so it makes more people, according to a lot of studies that multiple cities have done across all of these years, that when you take pride in your community and you take care of it, it starts a cycle of other people taking pride and taking care of their community. So we're just trying to make Weatherford stay as beautiful as it can. And then also a quick reminder that boats and RVs must be parked on impervious surfaces and cannot be stored in your front yard.
All right. Thank you, Nicole.
Absolutely.
Uh-oh, you're up. Here's your in and out.
Under control, in and out. I don't know why on my side it was totally showing that earlier. So this is actually the one that started rumor control. Correct me if I'm wrong, Blake.
Yes, you are correct.
Okay, so it's actually what started rumor control, because people kept saying they were coming here. I mean, we know that a lot of our Weatherford residents and people who come here to work or shop love them some Whataburger. Somehow In-N-Out always gets brought up. If you guys want to see them come, you reach out to In-N-Out, see if they'll come here. But right now it's not in the cards for us.
All right, so current non-residential projects. So basically, these are commercial projects that are taking place across the city of Weatherford. And basically, I know you can't read the chart. I know that it's really small on your screens at home. I apologize for that, but there's a lot of development going on right now. It's hard to squeeze it all in. So again, this is non-residential projects. And this is just to kind of give you an idea of what projects are taking place across the city limits of Weatherford. Lots of activity. These are going to be your residential projects, lots of housing being developed across the city limits of Weatherford as well. So there is a lot of growth. And one of the things that I will point out, we often get asked here at the city, why is Weatherford trying to become Fort Worth, or why is it trying to become Dallas or any other large city? I don't think it's a matter of, we as city staff or council are trying to make Weatherford be Dallas or Fort Worth. We're our own community. And what we can do is assist with controlled growth and figuring out, that's why our zoning regulations are in place to figure out where we want commercial properties, where we want residential properties. And just like everything in life, things change, things get reevaluated by our council or leadership. So that can occur, but figure out what's best for the growth of the city of Weatherford. But I like this map right here, just because it gives you a good snapshot with all the red dots of all the growth that's taking place. So developers know, before they build a housing development or apartments or condos, they typically know that they're going to rent those out or sell those. So it's a lot of data driven information that they use. So they're not going to build something and then hope it sells. They typically know, which is a good indicator for us that growth is occurring. It's a natural process. People move to wherever they like. And when they move here, what happens is businesses come as well, because they go where the money's at. They know that if they build an area where there's a larger population, they're going to make money. I mean, it's a free market. And that's the truth in it all. So Weatherford is going to keep growing based on the information and the projects that are taking place. It doesn't look like it's going to slow down, and we're kind of that last spoke in the wheel. When you look at the Dallas-Fort Worth area, if you look to the north, you look to the east, you look to the south, all of those areas have kind of developed, and Weatherford's kind of that last spoke that's coming into play right now. So you're going to keep seeing growth. You've got other communities that are growing: Hudson Oaks, Willow Park, Aledo, even Brock to the west. So people are moving to this area, and we anticipate continued growth. I think COVID slowed. I mean, we all know that COVID kind of slowed things down a little bit. But this too shall pass. And once companies reevaluate their strategies, it will pick back up. And really, it's going steady right now in the city limits of Weatherford, in my opinion. And based on the information that we have, nothing's really slowed down per se. But I think a lot of companies have looked at changes in how they can operate because of COVID.
Also, I have two quick updates before you move slides. One, on the update on Go Locos Tacos, all of those permits and things have been pulled. So I don't have any other update other than that right now. COVID obviously has, like Blake was just saying, made a bunch of changes for big and small companies. And as far as Lori's question as to when are they going to start building in the area of Fox Hollow and there on Carlisle and Clark, the response I just got back is that those permits are actually currently being reviewed. So we will let you guys know as soon as we know more about that.
Awesome. And I think, go ahead, Nicole. I've been talking. I'll let you talk.
No, you're good. So our Development Neighborhood Services, or DNS, has a page on the website. And I'm going to post a link here in the comments, guys. Make it quick and easy for you guys to be able to find it. Where they are updating, and it's got the recently approved, under construction, the subdivisions. It's got information on those projects going on around town. So you guys can check that out at any given time. But I just wanted, this is an old screenshot. So if it's an old project that has already been completed or whatnot, don't hate on it. I just used the same slide I used back in June. But you can always check those out. They're doing a really good job of updating those on the website. So check out that. And that's kind of all that slide has, is that they're updating those.
Yeah, they update that webpage pretty frequently to kind of make sure it's the latest and greatest. And it's a good resource. So when we're not live, you all at home, and even us here in the office, we can access that that webpage to get updated information. And I know Nicole frequents it pretty often, don't you, Nicole?
Yeah. I mean, I help a lot of our departments with the different things on the website, so always checking it. That's always a great resource to send people to when they're asking questions about a specific project.
All right.
So I know that John just asked about the low income housing committee. I don't know anything about that. Blake, do you know anything about that right now?
So he's referring to the committee that has a couple of council members on that committee, and they have not given, we don't have anything new in regard to that at this time, but it's John, they typically what will happen is that will be an agenda item on a future council meeting. So be sure to make sure that you're keeping track of that. And that's typically when they'll give an update, but nothing at this time. All right.
If you guys have any other questions, as always, you can put them here on the video, or you can message the Facebook page. I mean, honestly, we do try to be as responsive as possible. I know that sometimes people send us messages at I don't know, example, random, totally could be hypothetical, but isn't, at 11:55 on a Saturday. I'm going to reply if I see it. Otherwise, I might not be awake at that time.
We try, don't we, Nicole?
Well, I mean, we do try, but yeah. there's no guarantee. I mean, there's two of us that monitor the city pages. So realistically, I mean, Blake and I each need to have that off time where we're not on 24/7. I do reply on weekends.
We are. We're always on, Nicole.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, if I see it and I'm not busy doing something personal stuff, or at a family thing, I'm probably going to reply. But the reply you might get from me is, I'll send an email right now to that department. They won't see it until Monday, or they might see it. They might reply back. Who knows? Sometimes I get replies back. Sometimes I don't. But I mean, all of our city employees are people too. So we all deserve a weekend off, just like every other person deserves a weekend off from their job. So we reply back as fast as we can. If we miss it, shoot us a follow-up. So I know that Facebook has a new update where we can't message back after 7 days. So if we tell you, if I'm hey, I'm going to reach out and I'm going to find out more about that in a message, and then I don't reply back after 7 days, follow up, because I might not be able to reply back to you with all of the new Facebook updates.
And one thing I was going to mention, last Friday, silent plug for this chamber program. It's a really good program. But last Friday, we had Leadership Weatherford visit the city, and they got to tour the wastewater treatment plant. They heard from the city manager, and I think that was the 5th cohort. I was in cohort 2. I know a couple of our council members were in cohort 1. Lots of business leaders joined that program. And so they do it every other year. So I don't think it'll happen next year, but the year after. So this year, the class has already started. But just keep that on your radar if you're watching at home. It's through the Weatherford Chamber of Commerce, which is located right next to Albertsons, kind of the Santa Fe Drive area right there. But it's a good program because you get to learn about different industry across the city. You get to learn about city government as well. You get to have a Parker County Day, go to the courthouse, learn about their operations. So if you want to get more involved, be sure to reach out to the chamber to get information. But we had a lot of fun on Friday. I think we did a vehicle extrication with our fire department. So basically Jaws of Life. So the class got to witness that in action, to see what the firefighters and safety personnel do when they may get to a traffic accident or something of that nature. I'm trying to think what else. They toured the police department as well. Yep. So it was really a fun day, and we appreciate the Weatherford Chamber for allowing us to show what we do each and every day, and we had a lot of fun with the class.
I know I got a lot of feedback from a lot of people in the cohort, and they thought it was great to be able to get that behind the scenes stuff from the city and learn more about it. So I thought I got some good feedback. I also, in the comments, you guys will notice I just put a bunch of comments. I put links for both the App Store and Google Play for first My Weatherford, and then the app and Google Play link for Weatherford Eats. So you don't have to go search it if you don't want to. It's right here in the comments. So if you're on your phone, click it. It'll take you to it.
All right. Well, I'm not seeing any questions, which means we did an awesome job, Nicole. We overwhelmed them with information.
Right. I mean, we got some pretty quick responses. So shout out to Leiden for getting back to me on some of the development questions everyone was asking.
Awesome. All right. Well, we'll see you all next week, next Tuesday at 11 o'clock. And next week, we'll talk about department projects and updates, not economic development, but